Hi, this is Ishio and welcome back to Echo. We've been looking through these little extra scenes after the end of the game, so let's check the next one. This is Lights. It is November 2010. Okay, I think the other two were in, was it April and May? So there's been a bit of a leap now. I looked down at the cup in my hand again, trying not to make eye contact with anyone around me. Part of me wished I'd stayed home tonight, but Sarah asked me to come, so I'd feel bad for turning her down. She looked so excited when she mentioned how much effort she and the rest of her Bible group put into the party. She said that after a recent string of storms, the school wanted people to know that there was a severe weather shelter in the basement of the church. At first I thought it was going to be a bland-looking concrete basement, but as it turns out, Pater's old school gym is beneath the church. It's a small basketball court with bleachers that fold back against the walls, and old basketball rims that are pulled up toward the ceiling so that they're out of the way. Sarah and her friends strung up streamers and lights along with all sorts of other party decorations, turning this drab old gymnasium into a pretty cool party room. A disco ball hangs from the ceiling, reflecting lights over the room, while a DJ stands off to the side taking requests for which songs to play. So far, it's mostly been 80s and 90s pop songs. A group of adults stand around the DJ, probably to make sure nothing too risque is played. Almost all of us are standing around, talking or avoiding eye contact, save for a few adventurous souls dancing awkwardly next to one another. I finish off the last of my drink and decide to head back over to the punch bowl. I keep my head down, avoiding eye contact as I walk through the crowd. Wait, is this TJ again? I reach the refreshments table and ladle more juice into my cup and sigh to myself. I really shouldn't have come here tonight. My parents are out of town for the weekend, and I had to ask Chase and Leo for a ride. I figure since they were already headed to Peyton tonight, I would be alright, but something about their mood made me think that I'd ruined their night. I told them that I'd try to find a ride home with somebody else, and that I'd call them if there were any changes, but they said not to bother. Chase said that they stick around, that it's not like they had anything better to do. The way he said it made me realise I'd made a mistake bringing them into this. I can't take my mind off it now. I tried to make Sarah's night a little better, but ended up ruining Chase and Leo's. Now I'm avoiding Sarah, and I can't help but feel I'm ruining everyone's night. I have to stop myself from thinking about it too much. I bring my cup to my lips and drink just so that I'm doing something, if only for a few seconds. I end up downing all of it, and I close my eyes. I focus on slowing my breathing to stave off the panic attack I feel coming on. It takes a few minutes, but finally I can feel my heart rate slow and my body relax, only to be startled by a hand touching my shoulder. Hey, oh it's TJ. My voice is squeaky. She smiles a little at that. I was hoping to find you here. I was looking for you earlier, but I got caught up with Jessica and Amber. Her eyes dart around and she blushes. Would you like to dance? I can't help the shocked expression that I'm sure is on my face, and my eyes dart to the ground. I start mumbling out an excuse before Sarah reaches for my hand and pulls me to the dance floor. The cup I'm holding slips from my hand and I lose track of myself. Everything seems to fade away as I follow Sarah onto the dance floor. She turns to me and pulls me closer and places my hand on her hip. I hope the music's loud enough to mask the gulp I make when my hand touches her dress. Sarah's wearing an off-white sundress with a red ribbon around her waist, and I can't help but stare at how cute she looks. I feel overdressed in my outfit. My mum had laid out my clothes for me before she and Dad left. A light blue dress shirt and tie paired with slacks. Sarah's smile snaps me out of my reminiscing as she waits for me to take the lead. I force myself out of my trance and take a tentative step right onto Sarah's foot. Smooth. She squeaks and pulls her foot away. Sorry. Sarah just giggles at me while my face burns. There are a few more missteps before we get a rhythm down, and I can't help but feel kinda good about myself. At least I still have a chance at making Sarah's night and not completely ruining it. Her smile seems to have a way of relaxing my nerves, and soon enough I'm smiling back at her. The next song has a faster tempo, and we let go of each other. Sarah shakes her hips and moves her body to match the beat. I fumble, not knowing what to do with my hands, so I start to copy Sarah, and I hope she doesn't notice. We dance together, laughing, and occasionally singing lyrics to the songs that we both know. Every now and then we bump into each other, which forces a few laughs out of us. although I'm suspicious that she's doing it on purpose. Before long, the tempo of the music starts to slow, and we find ourselves slow dancing once again. Sarah pulls herself closer to me this time until our bodies press together. She looks me in the eye and smiles warmly, before putting her head on my shoulder. My body tenses, and I can feel her breath warm against me. I can feel her body press into me as she hugs me tighter. Feels nice. In that moment, I realise just how much Sarah enjoys my friendship. I feel like she trusts me. It's been so long since I felt this comfortable around anyone. Not even Jenna or the others make me feel like this. I haven't felt safe around anyone in such a long time, even my own friends. But with Sarah, it's as if I can let my guard down. I feel like I could do no wrong to her. I gently pull her into me, returning her embrace and smile. Unfortunately, my body reacts to this in the worst way possible, and my smile fades as I feel my pants getting tighter. Steady on, TJ. We start to step out of sync, and I can feel her torso grind against mine. I can feel her press her hips into mine as well. I tense and try to pull my hips away, but that only succeeds in making matters worse as the angle changes and I can feel myself bumping into her. Sarah's hand travels down my back, coming to a rest just above my tail. My entire body is tense and I can feel myself starting to panic before the song fades out for another with a faster tempo. Sarah pulls her head from my shoulder. I love this song. She pulls away and I feel a wave of relief wash over me, hoping she didn't notice or isn't angry about what happened. She starts to bounce and hop to the beat and I follow her lead, but she turns around and pushes her back into me. She gives me a wink over the shoulder and as she dances, her body grinds against mine. She sways her body while I try to focus on dancing, but I can't keep up. I try to move along with her, but I keep moving the wrong way and I can feel my crotch grind against her body. Panicking, I take a step back and she follows me. The song seems to go on forever. The music finally changes and I can't focus on anything other than what's going on in my pants. Sarah looks at me and before I can react kisses me on the cheek. Thanks for dancing with me, TJ. Even in the dim lighting, I can see her blushing face. I'm gonna go take a break, but I want to dance with you again before the party ends, okay? Okay. I watch as she walks away, not realising my eyes are on her hips until she disappears into the crowd. A tightness in my pants snaps me back to reality as I fumble to put my hands in my pockets, hoping to hide what's going on down there. I look around for signs of the bathroom and I make my way out of the party room. The exit is a long tunnel that leads to the church. The air in here is damp and cold, and as I step into the hallway, I feel a wave of cold air hit me. I realise how warm I am. I'm practically panting. I groan as I realise I probably look like an idiot dancing with Sarah. My feet make almost no sound thanks to my natural padding. Actually, I tend to sneak up on people a lot. It's kind of funny when I manage to startle Jenna, although she's made a point of evening the score. The rest of them is a one person at a time kind, and I lock the door behind me. As I'm going, I remember that Chase and Leo are somewhere around here too. Maybe I should go and chat with them. I finish up and make my way down the long empty hallway. I try to look for Leo and Chase, but it's hard to see much in here. I stand on my tiptoes, hoping to see Leo's ears, since he's so tall. Nothing. I circle the room twice before I give up. Maybe they went outside. I make my way back to the exit and walk down the silent hallway again. This time, I turn the opposite direction at the end and make my way upstairs and into the church. Here we are. The chapel ceiling makes the hall seem twice as large as it is. Candles sit lining racks along the wall. A few are lit, but most are not. An altar made of marble and covered in a white cloth with a gold trim stands in front of a big wooden cross. A wooden podium stands off to the left for the priest to give his sermon. Wooden pews fill the empty space in the hall, while a balcony for the choir overlooks the entire chapel. The church organ's on the balcony, probably so kids don't mess with it. I walk through the front door, thinking that maybe they went out for some fresh air. No one's there. I make my way to the parking lot to see if Leo's truck's still here. My heart sinks a little lower as I walk toward the lot. The thought of them abandoning me, my weird Christian party, is at the front of my mind. Luckily, I spot Leo's truck sitting near the back of the lot, so at least they're still here. But that's not where we parked when we got here. It's weird. Maybe they went and got something. I head over to the truck, passing under the street lamps. The lights are dim, and the lot is mostly dark, including the space Leo's truck is occupying. This might be a bad idea. I assume that they just got back from wherever they went and are still in there, so I'll make my way toward the truck. I can start to make out that someone's in the driver's seat, but the passenger seat is empty. I can't quite make out who it is, but it has to be Leo, right? I can see his silhouette outlined by the back window, but something seems off, like it doesn't really look like him. I slow my pace and try to make out what I'm seeing. I stop about 30 feet from the truck and squint my eyes. Suddenly, the silhouette starts to move, but not just that. It starts to morph and change and split into two. The second shadow moves to the passenger seat. I start backpedaling as the driver's side door opens, and I'm about to turn and run when the headlight comes on and Leo leans out. "Hey TJ, is that you?" I stop and relax, internally chastising myself for being so skittish. "Yeah, I was looking for you and Chase. Where'd you go?" I walk more confidently toward Leo, and as I reach the car, Leo closes the door and rolls down the window. Leo looks to his right. Chase is sitting in the passenger seat. He looks a little embarrassed and also a little annoyed. He has a jacket over his lap, and his bare legs are sticking out from beneath it. Leo clears his throat. "Oh, we just went for, Chase seems to snicker at that. "Oh, okay." I'm still not sure what they're talking about, but I've got my suspicions. I look at Chase. "So, are you going to go to the party?" Leo looks at Chase, who sighs heavily, like he's just put down a giant weight. "I don't know about that, TJ. It's kinda awkward. Not really into the whole Kool-Aid thing." That last part comes out all mumbly and quiet. I flatten my ears to my head and ball my fists. Quit acting like it's some cult, Chase. My eyes go wide when I realise I said it out loud. Chase rolls his eyes and makes a tut noise with his mouth. "I know, TJ. I'm just joking." I clench my fists harder. "No, you're not. You always mumble stuff like that when all I'm trying to do is include you guys." Chase glares at me before responding. "Well, maybe it's because I'm not comfortable being in a place that thinks people like me and Leo are disgusting." "Who in there thinks you're disgusting?" "You know most of them. You've hung out with me and Sarah before, so who in there thinks you're disgusting?" Chase rolls his eyes again, and Leo seizes the opportunity to step in and raise his hands. "Look, Chase, we're here on TJ's behalf. The least we can do is stop in and say hi." Chase mumbles something again, but I ignore it. "We'll head inside a bit, Tej, and we'll stick around for a while, and then we'll all head home, okay?" Leo's tone puts me at ease again, but I'm still uptight after what Chase said. "Listen, I'm gonna go for a quick walk to get some fresh air." Leo shoots a quick glare at Chase before turning to me. "Alright, we'll be inside when you get back, okay?" I nod, and because I don't want to have to say anything more, I turn and fast walk toward the road, passing under the dim lights of the parking lot as I do. I notice my lungs fill with cold air, and the pressure seems to lift off of my body. I wonder if that's what it's like to go through a panic attack. It sure felt like one. I struggle to undo my cufflinks, noticing how shaky my hands are, but I manage to undo the pins and let my wrists breathe. I loosen my tie and unbutton the top few buttons of my shirt, feeling like I can actually breathe again. I look around at the long stretch of road that runs past the church. There are some houses nearby, but the road is pretty empty except for the street lamps. One side of the road is a rocky gravel-covered hill, while the other side is flat open ground with the occasional house nearby. I stand on the side of the road under the street lamp for a few minutes more, and I don't know why, but I take a step toward the darkness of Echo. As I walk down the road, I can feel the gravel shift under my toe pads and it tickles my feet. I force myself to smile, and I try to think about other happy things in life, but all I can think about is Chase and Leo. I sort of disconnect from what I'm seeing, drawing into myself as I wonder why I thought it had been a good idea to invite Chase. He's always been kinda mean, but today it's even worse for some reason. He'd always been okay with me and my beliefs, but I guess actually bringing him here had been too much. I stop and snap back to reality. It's completely dark, and I look up. It seems I've walked past the streetlights on this road. I turn around and look back toward the church. I didn't realise I'd walked this far. I can barely make it out from here. How long have I been walking? I sigh and start to head back, putting my hands into my pockets as I pick up the pace. I'm unnerved with how loud my footsteps are now. Each footstep is like nails on a chalkboard, causing the fur on the back of my neck to stand up. As I make it back under the closest street lamp, I check my phone to see what time it is. It's 9:30. I wish I'd checked before I started walking, but I figure the party should have at least an hour left. I continue walking and go to put my phone into my pocket. I miss, and it tumbles to the ground. I stop to pick it up. The fur on the back of my neck stands up again. I thought I heard footsteps. After I stopped walking, there were echoes, but something about a few of them sounded different. But it had to be the echo, right? I stand up and look behind me, but I don't see anything. I squint my eyes, looking into the blackness, but I can't make anything out. I listen for anything, and I think I can hear breathing. But when I try to focus on it, a steady, high-pitched ringing starts to build. The more I try to focus, the louder it gets. I try to focus on anything other than that sound, but there's nothing else to hear. It's gotten so loud that I don't think I'd be able to hear a jet engine at this point. I feel my lungs start to burn, and I release the breath I hadn't realised I'd been holding. I was so focused on hearing something, anything, other than that ringing, that I'd ignored everything else. I inhale, the night air pierced by the sound of my breath being released. I must be going crazy. I take one last look around and start back toward the church again. But once I step out of the light, I swear I can hear footsteps start up behind me again. I focus on steadying my breathing and listening for any out-of-place sounds again. I keep my head low and try to catch a glimpse of anything out of the corner of my eyes. I look ahead to see how far I am from the church. My heart sinks. Not even close. I look toward the houses on the side of the road, but only one remains between me and the church, and it's still a few street lamps away. Even in the dark, I can see that it's a dilapidated mess, and no lights shine from inside it. There are trees growing all around it and overtaking what's left of the house. I consider running and hiding in there, but there's no guarantee the doors are unlocked. Or worse yet, maybe that's where the person who's following me lives. Just keep walking. I can't see anyone, so it might all be in my head. Even if it is somebody following me, who's to say it isn't someone from the church? That would make them a good person, right? I make it under another streetlight, and then another. I pass under another too, before I make it to in front of the dilapidated house. Just then, I hear a ragged breathing coming from behind me, and I spin around with a yelp. But there's no one there. A whine escapes my throat as I look into the darkness. Shouldn't I be relieved that there's no one there? But I can still hear the ragged breathing. It sounds like it's coming from everywhere. I can hear it to my left, but I can't see anything. I look to my right. Nope, nothing there. I spin around, looking in all directions, but I can't see anything. I turn my back toward the light pole and slowly back up. Tears fill my eyes. Hello? Is there anyone there? This isn't funny. I jump in surprise when my back touches the light pole. I can hear his ragged breathing coming from my right and moving to the left, just outside of the light. I shift on my feet, and I can hear his footsteps echoing in the darkness. Hello? And that's when I see something. I think I can see him moving around in the darkness, a tall, lanky figure. He bends down and starts to walk on all fours, but what I can make out disappears into the darkness again. He, or it, can be heard pacing around me, and as it starts to come closer to the light pole, I turn and back myself into the middle of the shining light. I hug my arms to my chest and whimper. I don't know where it is anymore. Whatever it is. I try to listen again, but that terrible ringing pierces my ears. I feel my face scrunch up as tears run down my cheeks. I feel another whimper escape my throat, and I look around into the night. I look back toward Echo and see a car driving toward me, and I feel a sense of hope wash over me. I start to look around, making sure the thing isn't going to grab me from out of the shadows. I start to wave down the car, but as it pulls closer, the lights dim, and I can see into it. My heart sinks, and I back away toward the light pole as I glimpse the silhouette of horns in the back driver's seat and a bright red eye looking back at me. I stumble backwards, away from the car. It pulls up next to me and rolls the window down. TJ? Cole! Cole nods in a manner that says the one and only, and he pulls, is it a cigarette, out of his mouth. What are you doing? I let out a sigh of relief and rush forward, grabbing at the door handle. Whoa there, Tej. I gotta unlock the door first? I fiddle with the handle, and Cole tells me to stop so he can open the door. I force myself to let go and look around, afraid that something's going to jump out at me right before I can reach safety. I can smell something bad in the air right now, like someone who hasn't bathed in months or a rotting dead animal. It's closer now. I hear the doors click open and I scramble for the handle again. I can hear Cole mention the door being open and that I could sit in the front if I'd like, but I ignore him, too focused on getting inside the car. Yanking on the door, I step back to make room for it to swing outward. In that moment, I feel a presence and my hair raises on my neck. I rush to get into the back seat, and as I look down for the step, I swear I could see a shadowy hand reaching from under the car. I quickly jump into the back seat and slam the door shut. Cole looks back at me with a smile. "What are you doing out here, Tej? Are you feeling alright?" Without looking at him, I mumble something about needing a walk. I'm still too busy checking to make sure nothing's waiting outside the car watching us, or trying to get in. I feel a shifting in my seat, and the car starts to move. I take in a deep inward breath, and let out a sigh of relief. As I turn to look back over my shoulder at where I was trapped a few moments ago, I blink a few times to clear my eyes, and I can blurrily see the silhouette of a lanky, misshapen person standing just outside of the light. But we pull too far away for me to make anything out clearly. I turn back around and lean my head back into the headrest, and I close my eyes, feeling them well up with tears. I jump when Cole starts talking again. "So, TJ, what the heck are you doing out here anyway? Did something happen?" I needed to clear my mind, so I went for a walk. All the way out here. I was at the church. I point out the window to the side of the car it would be on, but we're already past it and into Peyton. I think about telling him what just happened, but I can't figure out how to explain it right now. Cole keeps asking me questions all the while, and I tell him about my evening, the party, Sarah, Chase and Leo. I leave out everything that happened after I left the church, for reasons I can't explain. I decide to focus on the part with Chase getting on my nerves, and he just laughs it off, saying that that's just how Chase and Leo are. He asks if he should drop me back off at the church, and I tell him no, almost too quickly. I don't want to go back there, but I don't want to be alone. So instead, I ask him if I can go over to his place for a bit. He replies with an ecstatic "of course," and I message Leo and Chase to let them know. He mentions that he was going to Peyton to buy a new game that's just come out. He laughs, saying he hopes I don't mind if we have to wait a bit for it. I mumble that it's fine, as long as the place we're going to is well lit. It was well lit. Okay, so TJ got spooked on by the creature. Oh wow. But that is the end of that little short story. There'll be another one in the next episode. This is Usho signing off, and hopefully I will see you then.